Welcome to the Symmetry On Demand training series. This Symmetry On Demand training module will describe the additional features and options available on the cardholder screen Card Details tab. First, we'll open a card and we'll look at the card status section. If you have selected a badge design, the Badge Expires option field shows the card's expiry date, assuming an expiry period has been set up in the Setup Ribbons Badge Designer screen. Badge design is covered in another on-demand training module. The expiry date would determine the length of time from the active date that the card is valid. The card will not be able to be used from midnight on the expiry date, irrespective of access rights. This field is left blank if the badge design does not have an expiry period specified. The Usage Remaining setting specifies the number of times that the card can be used. Each time the card is used, the value reduces by 1 until limit reached is displayed. When the limit has been reached, the status of the card changes to inactive. Set this to no limit if you do not want to set a limit on the number of times the card can be used. And depending upon the setting of the Node Supports Card Usage Remaining, which is in the Install Ribbons Node screen, tracking of a card usage is carried out either by the node's controlling client alone or by the controlling client and node. The latter method is the most secure. The Deactivate at Threat Level option specifies the threat level at which the card is automatically made inactive. The card is made inactive if the current threat level, as set using the Home Ribbons Change Threat Level screen, is greater than or equal to this value. This option is only available if the Threat Level Manager license is installed. A card made inactive by the current threat level automatically returns to being active when the current threat level is made less than this Deactivate at Level setting. Select the Force Cardholder Inactive option if you want to make all the cardholder's cards inactive. The cards would not be able to be used to gain access. If a card is used, the inactive alarm event transaction message is generated. When you select Force Cardholder Inactive, a dialog box is automatically displayed for you to add a note giving the reason why the cardholder has been made inactive. This option is automatically selected and grayed out if Stop is selected. The Force Card Inactive option, as opposed to Force Cardholder Inactive, is available only if multiple cards is selected in the Maintenance Ribbons System Preferences Card Settings screen. Select this option if you want to make the selected card of the cardholder's multiple cards inactive. The card would not be able to use to gain access, and if used, again the inactive alarm message is generated. The Stop option allows you to change the status of the card to stop and automatically selects Force Cardholder Inactive. Although this option is similar in fact to Force Cardholder Inactive, you can use it to distinguish those cards who must be stopped from entering the building rather than those who are no longer active. The Select by Status option in the Select screen allows you to list those cardholders who have a stopped status. In the Home Identity Visitors screen, the Stop option disables the Visitor Management Sign-In button. The cardholder would not be able to be made active by any means if he or she has a stopped status. You can disable the button by configuring the appropriate roles in the Maintenance Ribbons Roles screen. Choose the Set for Batch Printing option if you do not yet wish to print the badge. It serves as a reminder that the badge has not yet been printed. And you can print all badges flagged in this way in one operation using the Home Ribbons Print Badges screen. Again, badging is covered in another on-demand training module. The Card Lost option is used if the card has been lost or stolen. If selected, the card cannot be used to gain access. It will automatically be made inactive and again require a comment as to why. If this card is used, the reader generates a lost card alarm event transaction message. In the additional options section, the area occupancy card is selected if the person is going to use readers to gain entry and exit from an area that has a controlled occupancy count as set up in the Setup Ribbons Identity Area Occupancy screen. Area occupancy will be covered in a future on-demand training module. The Card Watch option, if selected, allows the card to be used normally, but the reader would generate a Card Watch message instead of a granted access message. This allows the movements of the person to be watched. It is also useful if you want to run a report to trace their movements. If the Command Card Holder option is selected, the card holder is recognized as a command card holder and is able to perform special operations at keypad readers which have been defined as card command readers. This is done in the Install Ribbon Reader's Definition screen on the Modes tab. Card commands are covered in another on-demand training module. If you select Conditional Card, the card holder can use this card only to activate trigger commands or as part of a patrol tour transaction. It does not open doors. A conditional card can activate a trigger command by setting the if part of the trigger command to Valid Card Transaction. If Executive Card is selected, the card holder does not have to enter a PIN at a reader that is in card plus PIN mode. It is excluded from timed and zonal anti-passback rules, and if the System Preferences Card Settings option is set to auto-set unused cards expired, the executive card would not automatically expire. Due to the exclusion from PIN usage, the card holder cannot have both executive card and key card holder selected. If extended door times is selected, doors opened by this card are given an extended unlock time, open time, and pre-held time as is set up in the Maintenance Ribbons door timing screen. This may be useful if, for example, the person uses a wheelchair. It is possible for card holders with extended door times enabled to change the door open time at a 600 series or later reader, providing the reader has a keypad, and that user door time change is enabled in the Reader's Modes tab. If keycard holder is selected, readers that have been enabled as keycard readers recognize the card as a keycard. A keycard holder can switch the reader between keycard in and keycard out states, access rights permitting, by presenting his or her card followed by a PIN in a special sequence. When a reader is in keycard out state, all cards except keycard holders are denied access, irrespective of their access rights. When a card reader is in keycard in state, the normal operation is resumed. Keycard mode can be useful if, for example, the door is the point of entry for switching an intrusion alarm off, and only a few people know how to switch the alarm. This would keep the normal staff from accessing the door and causing a false alarm. The special sequence for entering the PIN, for example, if the normal PIN is 1234, the PIN entry would be 3412, the last two digits of the PIN entered first. If the PIN were 12345, the PIN entry for keycard mode would be 45123. This same sequence is used to toggle the mode from keycard in to out and from keycard out to in. Therefore, pins such as 1212 or 9999, for example, are not allowed. Keycard mode configuration and operation will be covered in a future on-demand training module. The patrol card option is available if you have the Guard Patrol license installed. If you select patrol card, this card can be used by a guard during a patrol tour as set up in the Setup Ribbons Configuration Patrol Tours screen. Patrol tours will be covered in a future on-demand training module. The Visitor Escort option is selected if this cardholder is allowed to escort visitors. If I create a new visitor, I can select their escort, and I must, as with all cards, have a card number, whether valid or not, and a facility code. If I save this record and open it back up to refresh the display, I now show that I have a visitor assigned. This tab would also list visitors who have not yet been assigned an escort under Unassigned Visitors. This concludes the Symmetry On-Demand training module. Thank you for your interest in the Symmetry Security Management System.